Okay. So the tweet says, imagine you and your team spending years developing a fantastic fighting game, supporting it through tons of balance patches, and releasing new characters, only for Tav102 to obsessively post Caliber 2 jank, fix bugs devs dead game every time he sees a clip. Now, I love this because this can go for like any fighting game. You could literally, I'll fight your Geo. That sounds fun. This is fun. This is a fun little tweet because this could be any player here where the Tav102 is. I know Tav. Shout out to the Tav. He does complain a lot, but he's right. And I'll explain why here in a second. And this could be any game ever. It doesn't even have to be a fighting game, but we'll relate it to fighting games first, right? Let's actually start by relating it to fighting games. So the game that Mr. Solio XRZ numbers, he's a Soul Calibur player. He's pretty good. You guys should go follow him. I don't follow him. He doesn't follow me. He doesn't like me. Anyways, this is probably gonna get me banned blocked. But this tweet has big simp energy. Now, I don't mean simping as in like simping over a lady. I mean simping over a game. Take off your honeymoon goggles. Please take off your honeymoon goggles. The game is old enough now that we should be talking about how there's bad things about it. One sec. The game is old enough now that we should be talking about the problems with it. Because if we don't, before the game officially stopped development, right? Because the game did stop development, sadly enough. So like, it's not really a good argument to make that we should continue to like hound Caliber's problems. They're not going to get fixed, right? But in the sense of a living game, like let's take Guilty Gear Strive for instance. If there was actual like bugs, if there was a lot of bugs and jank in Guilty Gear Strive, it should be noted. It should be noted and it should be told to the developers and told to the community over and over until it's gone. Unless they tell you, hey, no, we're keeping that. That's a sick gameplay feature. You know, the thing is, if you pay for something and you love something, you want it to be the best that it can be. So when things happen, I'll take it right back to Calibur real quick. When things happen in Soul Calibur, like wall splats, not wall splatting, like moves that are supposed to wall splat at certain ranges, just not hitting the wall, like not making a splat happen, kind of making a knockdown happen instead, that ruins games. That ruins rounds, matches, demeanors, attitudes towards a lot of things. There's a lot of bugs in Soul Calibur. So to obsessively post Caliber 2 jank, fix bugs devs, game dead, means that if there's a lot of bugs and you're seeing a lot of bugs, the game is dead to you. You're hurting. You want the game to be polished, and games should be polished. We pay it's $60. Okay, I'm not saying Soul Calibur is not a fantastic fighting game. I'm not saying that any game is not fantastic, but if a game needs more polish, regardless of the price tag, especially if you're paying for it. If it's like a fighting game that's, I don't care if it's $20, $60, or $100. If you're paying for it, then it should be polished. Then it should be fixed. Then you should mention bugs. Now, you not liking the balance of a character, totally different. Super duper different, right? But legitimately saying that there is jank in the game and that it needs to be fixed, like counter hit retracking, that should have been fixed a long time ago, right? Like wall splats not working properly, like combos dropping after a certain number of hits, even though that's not an intended feature in the game. They've never mentioned that if you do a certain, like if you do certain strings 2 times in a combo or 3 times in a combo, they'll get restood up, which you can use for tech, but it also ruins your combo, right? So it is indeed a bug. It is indeed a bug. Reverse ledges being super wide and tracking people's steps, bug or bad game design, one or the other. You should complain about these things. You can relate that to any fighting game. Don't like that the slow-mo in Tekken 7 actually changes hit properties? Talk about it. Continue to fucking talk about it. Rant about it. Rave about it. Make a fuss about it. Because if you don't, the devs aren't going to fix it. They're going to think it's fine. You need to say that things aren't okay. So just saying, oh, this fantastic fighting game has fantastic stuff and it's super fantastic. It's got the best, it's the best game I've ever played. That's not helping construct the game further positively, right? All you're praising the devs for the work that they've done, which is acceptable, and you should do that. But you should also let the devs know, hey, the work's not done, brother. Just like for us, labbing's not done, right? As players, People are like, oh, that was weak. That wasn't optimal. We don't go as you know, slightly competitive players. We don't go, bro, you just said my combo sucks. Fuck you. How dare you? That's so offensive. I did a fantastic combo and I supported it through tons of learning and releasing new strings just for someone to say combo too jank, fix buggy combo, your combos suck. We don't do that because we understand that we need to be more optimal. We need more optimization. We need, yo, Jaws, thank you so much for the host. Appreciate it. Yeah, right now I'm just talking about this really bad tweet. I like the tweet in the sense that I do believe that we should praise game devs for the work that they've done. But I also don't believe that we should praise game devs mindlessly and act like there's no problems with their game. Thanks, Jaws. Appreciate you. Whether that is Soul Calibur, which is what this is talking about, and there's a lot of problems in Soul Calibur, okay? There's a lot of problems with Soul Calibur. And I love the game. I love the game. When Okubo left the company, I said, Okubo the GOAT, thanks for bringing back my favorite franchise. Because he did. He brought back my favorite franchise. There's a lot of work to do on the game, but the game's done. Fuck it. Like, this is the game that we have to play, right? But when it was alive, there is nothing wrong with someone saying the game is jank, fix the bugs. That's essentially what this tweet says. Hey, I don't like that you said the game is jank and needs bug fixes. I thought all of us as fighting game players would kind of agree with the sentiment that we want bugs and jankiness, for the most part, gone, right? We want a polished game. We pay $60 for it. This isn't the fucking the early 2000s, the late 90s, where they can't patch games, where the only way for them to fix it is to make a super or a turbo or a championship or a sequel, right? We're now in an era of patches. So saying supporting it through tons of balance patches and not mentioning that those balance patches fix the balance, but do not always fix the bugs and the unintended features is bad. It's stupid. And that's nothing to take away from this guy. He wants to praise the devs and talk about his favorite fighting game that he finds fantastic. I get it. I also love Soul Calibur and find it fantastic, but I don't have honeymoon goggles on, and I know that there's things wrong with it. And not even things wrong with it in the sense that there's things that I disagree with. Like, I don't like Reversal Edge. Not a big fan of Soul Charge. It slows the game down way too much. I think RI and GI should just be one thing. There should just be RI meter. You should have to use meter for the defensive mechanics, right? I don't think the Soul Charge should exist. Hello, mate. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Just talking about this tweet and all of the things that it has to do with, right? So, like, let's take a look. Let's put another game in this spotlight, right? Calibur 2 jank, fix bugs, devs, game dead. If we hadn't mentioned that Jackie Briggs had an infinite in Mortal Kombat X at the beginning of the game, it would have never got fixed. If we didn't cry about it, we didn't complain about it, we'd say, no, this character is absolutely stupid. This is not okay. This infinite should not exist. Quan Chi was removed from the game. Where's your banned Benji point reward? I probably need one, right? I think everyone needs a banned Benji point reward. Even if they don't know Benji, just put a banned Benji point reward. I haven't made one yet. Even if, let's take another character into example. I think I said Quan Chi, right? So back on track. Quan Chi, right, was actually removed from the game for like 2 months or a month and a half. And the reason why, hey, what up, Peter? The only reason why is because he had so many glitches and bugs that he had to be removed so they could fix him. This man could get quadruple. Yo, thank you so much for the bits. Oh my gosh, that's $1. Oh, that's only $1. Nice, yes. This game had so many bugs with Quan Chi. He could get four times chip damage permanently if he did a double hex. You're not supposed to be able to do double final hexes, but there was a way to get double final hex by keeping track of the timer, and at 9 seconds the game forgot you have a hex out even though it's still out. Then you do a hex, then that one stays out for another 11 seconds, then you switch the next one in 11 seconds, and you can have 2 hexes. You can have 2 of the meter burn, 2 of the chip damage, 2 of the armor, 1 of the armor, 1 of the chip. You know, you can have whatever you want. And that was a bug, and people complained about it. Quan Chi was like, yo, Quan Chi players were like, hold up, they were like, yo tech, yo tech, and the rest of the community was like, no, this isn't tech, you gorilla eating, you gorilla glue eating idiots. This is a bug. This is not how the game's supposed to work. People complained about it, and then the dev said, holy shit, this is a bug. And they fixed it. And they fucking fixed it. Because he needed it. He did not need to have that. That needed to be fixed. They removed a character from the game for like a month and a half. Because they needed to make sure that he was gonna function properly. They wanted to get rid of the jank and the bugs. They did that when we complained. So telling someone, don't complain about bugs, sorry. There we go. Don't complain about bugs and don't complain about jank. What you're telling people is don't try to get your game fixed that you love so much. The people who complain the most are the people who love the game the most. I wish Strive had defensive meter. That'd be pretty cool if it had 2 separate meters. But then there would be no point in negative penalty. Negative penalty kind of dissuades you from using meter. I mean, from backing away because then you lose meter and stuff. So they'd have to make both meters drain. Yeah, quit complaining. Bring back launch Fawk. Peter, are you a Fawk main? The only way you'd ever think that's okay is if you're a Fawk main. See, but that's just an overpowered character, which I don't believe he should have been that ridiculous. I think he had some like weird hitbox issues, and they resolved those. Oh no, you're a Byron main? Hell yeah, you and Benji. Let's go. The better Byron main. You're here. Fuck Benji. Just kidding. Xbox horribly mismanaged. The bugs on Xbox are egregious. Are they significantly worse on Xbox than they are anywhere else? Decree, I don't know. I've never played on Xbox. Oh, if you don't want to have to choose between offensive or defensive stuff with your meter, Kaiji, you should play Mortal Kombat 11. Most games, that's the way meter works. I think almost every other fighting game except Mortal Kombat 11, that's how defense works. I think there's like a couple of Kusuges that have maybe 2 bars isn't enough. Maybe like that's the real issue, is 2 bars and burst just isn't enough for like a red RC, blue RC, yellow RC, purple RC. What are they called? Supers, whatever. We'll just call them supers. Right? Maybe 2 bars isn't enough, but that's not significantly a hindrance enough to the point where it's something to like super duper complain about. It's not a bug or jankiness, right? Hey, can you guys think of any other jank in fighting games that if we didn't complain about it, it wouldn't have got removed? Any at all? Other than the fact that they just completely removed General Zod from the game for Injustice 2, so we wouldn't have to deal with Lex versus yeah, MK's pretty cool. So that we wouldn't have to deal with Lex versus General Zod, because that was actually like the worst matchup I've ever seen. So I want people to pray. Xbox has bugs that don't exist in other versions. See, that's even more fucked up. And yet saying Caliber 2 jank, fix bugs, game dead is a problem. That's even more. If one platform has significantly worse bugs than the other 2 platforms, and the other 2 platforms already have horrendous bugs, by the way, I think there's a reason to say it. And he's not saying it because he doesn't love Caliber. Tab complains a lot, but usually whenever Tab complains about something, you can categorize it in 2 different ways. One, I think my character sucks, but it's not my character, it's me. That's one, right? 2, this really doesn't belong this way, and it makes the game a lot harder to play, and it makes people not like it. Those 2 things. This tweet is totally neglecting the second energy, because that's what it is. Bugs and jankiness don't help anyone. They have a vicious like Tekken DQ bug starting ranked matches and no working spectating whatsoever. You can't run tournaments on Xbox. Dude, that's horrible. That's trash. Fix that. Fix bug, devs. Caliber 2 jank. We literally make memes about dot caliber and memes about jank caliber 6. You know what I mean? I have a whole series of like tweets where it's something fucked up happens and it's like great game, greater moments, right? I call it that. That's like the little segment. Great game, greater moments. Because it's just something super fucked up. As a matter of fact, oh man, if you hate bugs, don't play bugs and jankiness, don't play Hunt Showdown. Thanks. We appreciate that, Peter. If it's a living game and it's buggy and has jank, like that jank that's unintentional, yeah, I'm not gonna play it. But if it's a living game and they're gonna try to fix it, then yeah, I'll play it. Even Fantasy Strike had some really unorthodox like glitches. Fantasy Strike had There was something that a character named Quince could do. Quince could make clones of himself, and they were illusions. They weren't real. And then if he did his super, he could actually make the clones real. Now, the clones weren't supposed to be able to do chip off normals, but I think there was certain situations where sometimes they would do chip off normals. And he had like another 2 or 3 bugs associated with him. They went 3 years without fixing spectating. Sounds like a reason to talk about fixing bugs. You know, that could go for any game, right? If there's things wrong with the game, like to the detriment of the game, they should be talked about. If they're not talked about, no one will know that they need to be fixed. This tweet sucks. Anyways, this is of course probably, I don't know, it's probably going on YouTube. Damage has huge desync issues where you'll fall off ledges in the server if you get too close. So you'll take fall damage, then be teleported down. Why do you play that? That sounds awful, but not as awful as the people watching this video on YouTube that aren't gonna hit the like or subscribe button. Please, if you're watching my content on YouTube, yo, come to the Twitch streams. It happens live here. It's way more lit. You get to watch me play video games, not just talk about shit. I think you guys watch me play video games enough. You guys can see me rage. I think most of the rage stuff does not end up on YouTube. Don't ask me why, okay? I don't choose what goes on YouTube. Only the talk segment. Anyways, peace out, YouTube. Like and subscribe, please.